In this activity, which is activity number 15 for Level 1 electronics, we're going to look in more detail at capacitors and resistors. You can get this activity and all of the others for Level 1 electronics by visiting jb.works and entering the TMT code shown at the bottom of the screen at the search prompt. In the previous activity number 14, we made the world's worst torch, and that was where we were basically charging a capacitor and then discharging it through a LED. So essentially what we're looking at in this video, or this activity, are two components, resistors and capacitors. Resistors look like these, and they impede the flow of current through a wire. So they make it harder for current to flow through. You can think of a capacitor, whose job it is to store charge, as being a bit like a bucket. So essentially you fill it up really quickly and then you can discharge it or empty the water out really quickly. So capacitors are very good at that. But it's not a very good bucket because effectively the bucket has a hole in it. And so you always get some of the charge leaking out. And we're going to see that in this circuit. Because in this circuit what we're doing is we are charging the capacitor when we turn the jackboard on. And then as soon as we turn it off, the LED starts drawing power from it. And you can see the light of the LED will start to increase and then it will start to decrease. So let's have a look at that now. So this is our circuit. So I'm going to turn the jackboard on and watch the LED here. And you'll see it slowly, once it turns on, it'll slowly increase. And now it's at full brightness. So if I turn it off, again, watch that LED and it slowly decays away. So what's happening is the capacitor, which is right here, is being charged by the 5-volt power supply through a 100k resistor. And we'll see all of that in the circuit diagram. Now this is our circuit diagram. So as I mentioned before, we have 5 volts, which is this pin here, and that is feeding a 100k resistor, and we're connecting to pin 1 of the 100k resistors. And that current then goes through and ends up on these 3 pins of the user junction down here. So one of them is going to feed our capacitor, which is this one in the middle here. And then the second one is going to a 100k resistor, which is the second one of these guys, and that then goes into the LED. So when we turn the power on, current flows in through here, through the first 100k resistor, goes down and fills up the capacitor. And some of it also goes towards turning the LED on. But the portion of it, well, most of it, goes towards initially charging the capacitor. Now when we turn the power off, the capacitor then starts supplying the LED with electricity. And that's why the LED slowly decays in brightness until you can't see it anymore. And that's because this capacitor is actually very leaky. It doesn't hold its charge for very long. So next, let's build the circuit. For this activity, you need a charge jackboard, a top, and 10 short female to female jumper wires. Right, to put it together, first of all, we just put the top on top of the jackboard and we'll connect the power up. Do that first. And again, yellow goes to 3 volts and red goes to 5 volts. So the first thing we're going to do is take a red jumper wire and go from here to the first 100k resistor. And then we're going to take another jumper wire and we're going to go from that 100k resistor onto the pin A1 of the user area. Now from there, we want to take another jumper and go to our capacitor. And then we need a ground connection for that capacitor, so that will go to here, down to there. So we've got the first part of the circuit that's going to charge our capacitor. It goes from 5 volts through to the 100k resistor, through that, down here to the user area at a junction, then comes back here through the capacitor and then to ground. So our next wire is going to go from the junction into the second 100k resistor, because this is the one that's going to make the LED work. And then we go from the other side, from pin 4 of the second 100k resistor into our LED. And then lastly, we go from the ground pin of the white LED to ground up here. So this is our finished circuit. So if we've done this correctly, if you watch the LED, the white one, when I turn the power on, the LED should start to light up. And it does slowly. It's not quite so clear in this bright studio lights, but nonetheless. And then if I turn the JackBord off, it should go dim. And there we go. This picture shows the first half of the circuit, which is responsible for charging the capacitor. And again, don't worry if the jumper wires are a different color to the ones that you have. The main thing is that the ends are in the correct place. This picture shows the completed circuit. And once again, just compare it with yours and make sure that everything matches up. And this last picture shows the completed circuit attached to the JackBord. Now that we've got the circuit going, you can try a number of different things. One of them is to change the value of the two 100k resistors. So you could try 10k or 1k resistors. Another one is to run the capacitors in parallel and see what kind of a difference that makes. That should give you more power and make them last longer. For more information, visit jb.works.